1 hour timer. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little session review. I'll pick like 2 hands maybe, see how that goes. I don't want to pick a bunch of hands because then I'll feel like I have to rush through them. So while that's uploading, I will open my PT4, which is not here for some reason. Did everything get deleted off? Maybe that's what happened. Pin to taskbar. Pin to start. Is it unpinned from taskbar? Yeah, it just doesn't want to show up. Yeah, it doesn't want to show up anything. Is the music too loud? It's kind of loud here. Alright, so let's open up here. Happiness depends upon ourselves, Aristotle. Every time you're able to find some humor in a difficult situation, you win. I am strong because I know my weaknesses. I know I'm beautiful because I know my flaws. Oh, so cheesy. That one's all gibberish. I should delete that one. Do not judge me until you know me. You don't understand me until you have a chance to challenge me. You do not talk about me until you have talked to me. Alright, stats. Let's go right to here. By session, by date. So, what do I want to go through? Stuff that's fresh in my mind? Or old stuff? I think this one just plays itself. This one kind of drove me crazy. The one thing I'm glad I didn't do is just snap call the river. I didn't factor in the check back or min click back raise here on the river. Boom. See, I was getting 5 to 1. Boom. Anything to get here 18% of the time. So he min bet the flop, I believe. Yeah, I raised. Good. Then he min bets the turn. I think if I raise here, I'm getting him to fold the hands I want him to keep. Could this be a raise too? If he 3-bets me, I hate being 3-betted here. Three-betted here. I still have redraws. It's not always the ace. And that flush, I mean. I think I'm just getting them fold like blank 7s here. Does he ever do this with blank 7s? Can do this with like 10-8 or yeah, 10-8 of hearts maybe. No, maybe not. You know what? I'm rushing it. Let's go to pre-flop. So what does he do here? He cold calls. Let's give a standard fish's cold call range. Kind of like that, I'd say. their premiums. I'll give them that range. No stats. Maybe I'll take the default a little tighter. Oh, they're on the side of caution, just like that. 30%. That's what I'm saying is ranges. That's it. Now the flop comes. Should I input player 4's range? I don't want to complicate things. I don't know how to do this, so I'm just going to focus on this. Nine of spades, 3, 2, 3. Top pair about 18% of the time. Usually if you hit a pair, about 30% of the time. Let's just change this 9 to an ace real quick. 25% versus 17, 18%. Okay. What about a king? I got the king of spades, but let's just put that in. 18%. 18% we'll say. Oh, so the ace really changes a lot because of all the suited aces. 18%, 17%, 17, 18%. Why is 9? He has more 9s and queens. He has more 9s and queens? All the 9s are queens where the queens are here. Oh yeah. 5 offsuit combos versus 5 offsuit combos. Those balance out, but then the suited combos he's got 2, 4, 6, 7 versus just 2, 4, 5. 4 times 2 is 8 extra combos. How do you go combo modes here? Tab for combo mode. Top pair, he's got 63 of the queens. And I said 8. 8 of the 9s. Huh? 66 top pair. Look at the 9 here, 9. Go around, because I'm trying to figure out where it is. It's around here, you dangus. Boom. 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 times 4. Oh, 7 times 3, right? 7 times, because there's the 9 here. Yeah, there you go, you dumbass. Yeah, 3 times 7 is 21. 9 times 5, right? Yeah, it's 45. 21 and 45. I said 21? 2, 4. 21 and 45. 66. Yeah. And then the queen. 63. 6 times 3 is 18. 9 times 5 is 45. 45 and 18 is 55. And 18 is 63. Yeah. I have to keep doing this math. I have to be able to do it at the table. Not exactly like this, but I still want to mess around with numbers. Just I want to be able to add this number in my head and this number in my head and get numbers. So I think this is good practice. While getting into other ranges. If I can't do it here, then I can't do it on the table, and I'm gonna pressure. How much time? In 10 minutes? I'm going to get something to drink real quick because I got the pasties. Trouble is, you think you have time. Buddha. Motherfucker, we got all the time, man. We are at the moment. Be the moment. But I get what you're saying. Oh, I'll just do it later. I'll have time later. I just thought about it. I mean, I can't just study this mindlessly. I have to come up with the right questions. So the first one is, what's the worst case scenario? The 3 sets. He doesn't have any 2 pairs. Maybe he's 3-2 suited. Let's see what kind of range would he be donking here with? Like made hands, draws, maybe overcards with backdoor draws, maybe like Jack 10 and like King Queen of Hearts, stuff like that. So let's just see what my hand's obviously way ahead of that. I got the King of Spades and the 9 of Hearts. Yeah, King of Spades and Hearts right here. Do I want to input my hand, or what did you want to know? So let's say he ace high. He does this with flush draws. What about overcards? He's got no overcards. What do you mean? Oh, because he doesn't have ace king to... Oh, did I put the queen there? Why did I put it? Oh, yeah. Okay. Overcards here. How do I select? Can I keep these highlighted? Overcards. There. I'm gonna do this like what? If he has... How do we do this? So If I want him to just dong to flop with overcards and backdoor hearts, like king queen hearts, I guess I'd have to select them individually like this. Does he even do this? Such a game of unknowns, man. He cannot have... I could give him with a 1 spade on this hand. So overcards, boom. Okay. And now with the with the 2 spades, now the 2 hearts to 1 spade here. Like that. Spade, diamonds, clubs, heart, okay. Right. I'm sure there's a way I can keep this range highlighted. Right click to fix the screen. Right click to fix the screen. This will allow you to manually set filters. Like that. Oops. Okay, just right click it off. Okay. So boom. Manually set filters for individual starting hands. Hover over the other stats to see how they fall into this range. I should maybe look into some more Flopzilla tutorial videos before I dick around in it. I haven't used it a lot in a while. So I'm just gonna go like this and see, boom. Filter, filter. Okay, off. Why is the king 10, king jack, king queen 9, and the rest 12? Did I click those? Because I've got the king of spades, that's why. So, filter. How the fuck do I do this? I'm gonna look into how to use Flopzilla better. I'm gonna be wasting too much time doing this. I'm gonna do that right now instead of doing a session review. If I want to do this, I'm gonna do this right. So let's just go see what I can find online. I just closed that damn window. This is pretty annoying. Put in just Flopzilla. So let's just go to YouTube. I'm not gonna record this because you guys don't have to watch it, right? Evan Gripst. Using Flopzilla. I'm gonna watch a couple of these. I don't know why this guy's a poker coach. I don't get it. He plays like the micro stake and he's charging people like so much money an hour. He's good at speaking and his content's like nice and clean, but I don't know, I don't get it. Sky Matsuashi or whatever. Look at that, his editing and shit and stuff is really good. Let's just see.
Flopzilla. Now, normally when you're using this at home, you're going to see Flopzilla in all of its glory with all the various sections. Today we are just focused on building ranges, so I'm just going to show you that aspect to it. Oh, go ahead right now, whip open Flopzilla for yourself.
Whip it open.
Kind of follow along and
whip it good.
The more you do and the more you use Flopzilla, the better you'll become with it and the more you'll get out of this valuable software. I literally, no joke, I literally use it every single day in every single study session. Guaranteed.
I don't know his poker history,
when
but
you're
I've seen him
building
play
ranges,
just
there's a
micro
few
stakes and
different
him
ways to do it,
questioning
and I'll show you
himself,
how
you know,
to do
as if he was learning the game from scratch. And then he was charging people a lot, but these good poker players are paying for him to get coaching. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Thanks, Guy. Once again, you nailed it. You nail it. This is just how to put new ranges and flops. You plan to go to the guy. Go-to guy, huh?
You can
All
first build them by just
Wait,
clicking.
let me just find some favorite poker. Just so you to build 2 flop ranges for opponents in this video. Range slider, quick select buttons. Ending the build, be notified. I'll support him. Why not?
On individual hands one at a time.
He's
You
got
could
good
also click,
good
hold
stuff.
down, and then drag the cursor around to add a few different hands to the range all at one time, instead of the slow, painstaking process of adding them one at a time. Now, if you want to deselect hands from the range, the exact same thing. You can click one at a time, or click and hold, and then drag it to remove a lot more hands from the range. Look at that super tight 3-betting range right here. So let's say that this is the kind of range that you want to build and you want to save for future use, right? A 3-betting range right here. What I recommend, and you can see I do it all the time for all these various ranges. I mean, I have ranges from
Kiss casting range, 2-bet ranges, opening ranges, call 2-bet ranges, call, 3-bet ranges, call 3-bet ranges, pseudo call ranges, the chorus range, Ed Miller's, the med ranges, cold calling ranges, no bullshit. Why you got so many ranges, dude? Black range 79, opening range, best poker coaching, button range. Black range 79. I'm specialized in teaching micro stakes, and so
Ed Miller's book, The Course. I have ranges from Nathan Williams and Black Range 79. All these different ranges. Some I created myself, others I got elsewhere. But as you're building ranges, you really do want to save them because it makes it
mashing
so much
ranges
easier.
with
If you're
that.
building ranges from the start every single time, it kind of just adds a lot of time. And if you're constantly building a 15% range, the exact same thing over and over again, save yourself some time and save the ranges. So add a category here. Let's just call it new ranges. And once you have your category created, you can right click on it, give it some different colors. Let's color this bad boy green for our new ranges. Once you have that done, store range, and what it's going to do, it's going to store the current range on the board right here. Let's call it a 3-bet of 2%. And now we've got that 2% 3-bet range. If we hit clear and then double click it, there it is. Let's build this out, not that one, build it out just a little bit more. Maybe not 7, let's go to King, Queen suited and Ace, King, right? So a 6% 3-betting range. There we go. Now this one's here, the 2% and the 6%. We've got them both for quick and easy future calculations. When we're facing a 3-bet, it's really easy for us to add the range or assign our opponent's range.
That's just like a linear 3-bet range, though. That's good, right?
The next way that you might build a range is by using the range slider down here. As you click it and then drag it to the right, the percentage form goes up, the combo
Yeah, this is
count
kind of
increases,
really
and it
basic
starts
shit, but
manually
how long is this video?
automatically adding hands based on the ranking system that you choose. Now, I normally use the no limit ranking system, and I think this is just Flopzilla's own proprietary.
The thing I like about this guy is he like really gets in depth. You know, he really nerds out on this stuff.
You can use the other ones like the poker.
You can tell he really likes doing
many
it.
of the old hats on the online.
He seems like a perfectionist, you know.
Poker show, and some of these other ones right here. But I normally use no limit when I use the bet slider. Now, as you slide it over, let's build like well, okay. Let's imagine we're playing against a player, and they decided to just call our open raise pre-flop. They called from the button. Maybe their button calling percentage is normally 13%. and maybe their button 3-bet is 7%. So they 3-bet 7, they call 13. Altogether, they play 20% of hands. So we'll just, using the no limit, we'll slide it out to 20%. And now we have to use a little bit of our own logic to determine, does this range make sense? Is our opponent really going to call with King 9 and Queen 9 suited? Maybe we don't think they will. Maybe we think they don't like those hands, but instead, they'll call with every single suited ace. That makes sense. We're still at roughly 20%, but instead of just relying strictly on the bet slider, we're throwing a little bit of logic in as well. Maybe we think they'll never call with Queen 10 offsuit, but maybe Jack 10. So bam, 20%. We're good. But remember, they're calling. They're not 3-betting us. So we need to remove some hands. We can manually remove the hands if we want. But like I said, we looked at their stats with our HUD, and we know that they 3-bet 7% on the button. So what we can do, utilizing the bet slider, is bring this over 7%. What the bet slider on the left does, this removes the top end of the cards from the range. This adds the lower end, I guess, cards to the range right here. So we're looking at a 13%, oh, yeah, there you can see it, 13% total. So once you use the bet slider, then you can throw a little bit of logic in there. Is our opponent really 3-betting with pocket 8s? That seems more like a calling hand. So let's include that. Let's include 9s to the range. But maybe, yes, maybe they do 3-bet with the pocket 10s. Queen Jack, that might be a calling hand, but if you think about this opponent, maybe, yeah, King Queen does make sense, both of them, because they block pocket.
Can you only select the blue one first? I bet you can. Yeah. What's their total range they're playing? Alright, so yeah, that does save a lot of time.
Kings, they block pocket queens, they block the ace king, the ace queen a little bit, so maybe our opponent is 3-bet semi-bluffing with these hands right here. So that's our final range that we can assign our opponent for calling our 2-bet on the button, utilizing their stats as a little bit of knowledge, and the bet slider down here. Let's clear this. Another way that you can build the ranges is by utilizing these quick hit buttons down here. So all the pocket pairs, bam, 6%. All the broadways, 14%. All the suited hands, 24% right here. Now here's a quick question for you. If somebody plays every single Broadway and every single pocket pair, what range do they have?
17.9.
Hopefully you have Flopzilla and you're able to plug that in. Or maybe you already know it right now. It's a very easy one. I memorized this a long time ago. It's simply 18%, or 17.9 to be exact. 238 combos, every pocket pair, and every Broadway. So this is often a very easy way to start your ranging of your opponent. Once you have these and those, you just build it from there. Yeah, I think my opponent's probably calling with those,
9%.
maybe calling with every single ace.
6%.
I know they like suited connectors and suited gappers.
Yeah,
I've seen them call with these offsuit connectors before, and I've seen them call with offsuit aces occasionally.
A quarter of them, or a third of them, 4, 5, about a third of them are pocket pairs. Well, okay, all pocket pairs is like 6%. All Broadways is 14%. Pocket and Broadways is 18%. Alright.
2. So bam, we start off with a simple 18% range. But
bam!
About how our opponent has played in the past, we built it up to a 34% range. Whether that's accurate or not, I mean, that depends on the situation and your opponent. That's how you can quickly build ranges. Now, one thing I occasionally do, and I was
like, why does he have golf balls there? But it's a range. Daniel Brown is a golfer.
Do it for myself is I will weight the ranges in different hands in one way or the other. So let's say for myself, depending on the opponent I'm up against, maybe I 3-bet with pocket aces, pocket kings, and pocket queens, maybe 80% each. And 20% of the time, I just like to call to kind of lull them into false sense of security, thinking that I have a weaker hand. So aces, kings, and queens right here, if I assign it a weight of 80%, and I simply click on these again, bam. So, oh, hold on a second.
Bam, there it is.
So you can see, for every pocket pair, there's 6 combos.
So if I go
all
weight
together,
2,
1, 2, 3 pocket pairs times 6 is 18 combos, which is what we see down here. Now, if we have 80% of each, bring over the calculator real quick.
Oh,
0.8 times 18 means we should have 14.4 combos in our range. If
okay,
we're
so
only
how do I
playing 80%,
deselect this? Boom, like that, right? So now I could just go,
80%
what the
bam,
hell?
14.4 combos. So you can see how
Shush. Shush. Okay, so how do I deselect? No, wait. Wham, wham, wham. So if I go back to weight 2, boom, right back to 70%. 70%. Alright, so clear this shit. So let's say he 3-bets aces. No, kings and queens all the time. Weight 1, aces 80% of the time. Let's go with jacks 60% of the time. No, and he always 3-bets this range. I don't know. And then, so this is what's 80%. This is 60. All right, I get the gist of it. That's what I was looking for. Not really. I was looking to select specific hands through the filtering. That's okay.
Removes some hands from the range, and so that's.
This is for more for like pre-flop, I think.
No, I don't often use waiting when it comes to my opponent's ranges.
Let's just see what
Maybe
you
I've
said.
seen them call with pocket reach, and 20% of the time, I just like to call to kind of lull them into false sense of security, thinking that I have a weaker hand. So aces, kings, and queens right here. If I assign it a weight of 80%, and I simply click on these again, bam. So, oh, hold on a second. Let's remove those weights. So you can see for every pocket pair, there's 6 combos. All together, 1, 2, 3 pocket pairs times 6 is 18 combos, which is what we see down here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we have 80% of each, bring over the calculator real quick. 0.8 times 18 means we should have 14.4 combos in our range if we're only playing 80% of them. So let's assign these. 80%, bam, 14.4 combos. So you can see how automatically it removes some hands from the range. And so that's what the weighting function would be for. Now, I don't often use weighting when it comes to my opponent's ranges. Maybe I've seen them call with pocket aces before, and maybe I've seen them 3-bet, but maybe it's very specific circumstances, maybe it's against very specific opponents, and I don't really know enough about what goes through my opponent's mind to know that 50% of the time they 3-bet, 50% of the time they call, you know. And so that is how I use the range builder right here, and the various ways that I build the ranges. So get out there, do some more practicing. Click on some of these other videos that just popped up for various how to use Flopzilla videos, and get on this software. Use it as much as you can. The more you use Flopzilla, the more ranges and equities and hands, that kind of stuff will just kind of seep its way into your brain, and you'll be able to kind of naturally recall it and have kind of an intuition for it when you're on the tables. So thank you very much for watching. Oh, before I forget, hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell to get notified of every new video. Thank you very much.
Alright. I'll watch one more video for now. I've used this, I've watched this one before, but an hour? Hmm. 6 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. How many views? 18. I might listen to Evan Jarvis. There you go. The filter system.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
This is the second video in the series on working with Flopzilla. In this video I'll discuss Flopzilla's filtering system. This system will allow you to narrow a range, after which you can move to the turn or river. Let's just enter a range and a flop. And let me just clear these filter symbols for a moment.
Wow.
Okay, let's say that we now want to narrow our range to top pair or better. To do that, I'll just click every single stat that is top pair or better. And every stat I click will get...
How do you do that? I did for a couple. So you have to be like, can I just hold control? How do you do that? Let's just go like this. What the hell? How do you do that? Do I have to go like this? Yeah, okay. You gotta click the things, not the files. Alright.
One of these blue filter symbols in front of it. And I've now set up the filter system to filter for top pair or better. And here on the filter button below, it says that this accounts for 18.7% of the hands. And if you want to see that in combos, press tab to toggle to combo mode. And apparently...
Should I work with combos or percentages? I think when there's big ranges, percentages are better, but when you get specific, you should use combos.
168 out of a total of 896 combos.
Top. Okay. I'm not sure if I should use percentages or combos. I think, yeah, the bigger the range, the more beneficial it is to use percentages, I guess. Combos are only good if you get specific.
Are top pair or better. Of course, nothing has happened yet because the filters are turned off, which you can tell by the little red light here. To turn the filters on, click on the filter button. And the little red light is now turned green, telling you that the filters are now...
So that means when I see bet flop, he only continues to top pair better, so now this is his range on the turn. If I put this in, it's going to mess with that range? No. But if I filter it in, boom. So let's say, oh, he has no top pair now. He still has no top pair because I went. Alright, so let's see. Top pair plus, if I go like this. Now I want him to only continue. Okay. Let me half-ass this. Let's say the board is this. I want him to continue with middle pair. On the flop, I want him to continue with middle pair plus. Weak pair, any pair plus, okay? Boom. Let's give it a basic like. It continues with anything that's coordinated with the board or a made hand. No made hand, he folds out. Here's no made hand 58% of the time, but 66% of the time the hands pass through. Does this fall under a no made hand? That's why. Oh. Yeah. What? Why does this highlight in purple and then this? Okay, yeah. Like all these lower suited connectors, these junk ones right here, they fall here and here. That's why. But yeah, let's say he just continues there with just made hands and actually there's simplicity. Let's keep it simple. Why am I chewing on it? Boom. Oh yeah, it affects this range, the flop range, because now another card is known. But now, let's say he can... What if I do this? Can I go back to the flop? The flop top pair? Okay. So they're different categories, totally. This saves for the flop, and then once you go to the turn, you can mess with it. Yeah, and it doesn't affect pre-flop. Okay. So now, let's say double barrel, and he only follows through with... What did he follow through on the flop? He followed through with any made hand and open-ended straight draw. Now I double barrel, so he continues with top pair plus an open-ended straight draw. So does this mean 47% or 45% of the time, 45% of the hands of the filters go through or fold out? I think 45% of the hands went through the filter, meaning they are part of this. So he folds 55% of the time. To my flop C bet. Let's go back to the flop. Just check that out here. Pass through the filters, yeah. Okay. I see what's going on. Yeah, because it gets filtered through onto the turn, into the turn. Alright. And because his range was strengthened through that process, so now he's going to continue on the turn even more. So now let's say he only calls. Boom. So now you got to select your river card. Let's say blank. He only calls a 2 pair plus. Okay. Yeah, color's still in range. Filtered out. I lost my sounds. The speaker short circuits all the time. I need a new speaker.
In color. And for each, the number of combos will be displayed in the lower left.
Oh.
By the way, if you want to edit the matrix at this point, if you mouse over it, it will return from the grayed out version to normal. So you can easily edit it without all the distractions. Okay, at this point, if you mouse over it, it will return from the grayed out version to normal. So you can easily edit it without all the distractions. Right in the lower left. By the way, if you want to edit the matrix at this point, if you mouse over it, it will return from the grayed out version to normal. So you can easily edit it without all the distractions. Okay, I'll just move back. And
why would you do that though? If I wanted to edit it, I'd just go right back to the flop, pre-flop like this, and I'd just be like, alright, I know I want to take these hands out now. Or I'd filter them out. Why would you go to the river like this and just be like, oh, I want to completely change? I think they're just talking about first.
The filtered mode. Okay, let's add some more stats. Let's add flush draws. Please note that if there's only one suited combo, the suit will be displayed in the matrix as well. And let's enter some more hands that make sense here. An outside straight draw and all combo draws. By the way, if you want to select multiple statistics, you don't need to click every single one. You can just click one, keep your mouse pressed down, and for everything you want to select.
I figured that out now. Applying a weight to a statistic.
Now, in some cases you may want to apply a weight to a statistic. So maybe we also want to include cut shots, but only 40% of the time. To do that, I'll just select cut shots.
This is what I want to learn.
Mouse over its percentage bar.
With the scroll bar, yeah.
A pop-up will now display the contents of the cut shot, as well as a weight slider.
Yes.
And you can now use your mouse scroller to change the slider's weight.
Oh.
And a small weight box next to the statistic will indicate that a weight is applied to it.
Why is this like off? Let's go to. This is a good poker video. Applying custom filters. Yeah, there you go.
Let's turn the filters off again for a second. Currently, with the filtering system, you can only select an entire stat. But here, for the cut shots, maybe you don't want all cut shots to be allowed to pass through. Maybe you only want Jack 10 and Jack 9 to pass here, but not the lesser cut shots. To filter specific hands, right-click a statistic. This will now fix the pocket for that stat, so I can...
So let's say I want to edit on the flop, just like what I was doing. Overcards. Okay, there's no overcards on this board, so I'll have to. Let's just mess with a respectable range. So we'll go like Jack. So take this filter off. Overcards with. What are these? 2-card backdoor flush draw. Okay. Huh. Like, let's say King 8 of hearts. There's one combo. That's a backdoor straight draw with an overcard. What the hell? Why is King 7 suited there? That's middle pair. You got a backdoor flush draw because it's a heart. 2-card backdoor flush draw. That's all it is. Has nothing to do with straight draws. So that's why it's all hearts, you dummy. 2-card backdoor flush draw. Oh, so they're not taking into consideration like ace of clubs, queen off. And it's an overcard. Huh? Why did this not? Oh, I'm looking at this now. So why does these highlight purple? This highlight color. Where's the purple? Oh, okay, over here because it's 2-card backdoor flush draws. Okay. What about 2 overcards with a backdoor flush draw? Overcards. So I'd have to actually. How do I keep this range selected here? Yes. Okay, I keep it selected. There. Hopefully it shows me that. Now I can mess with this range. To deselect it, right click. Alright.
Move my mouse freely without the step being deselected. And now, in the pop-up, I can choose a custom filter for each hand. For example, let's choose a no filter symbol here. And I'll attach it to the lesser cut shots, so that they are not allowed to pass through the filters.
Okay.
And the filter symbol in the lower right will change from a filter symbol.
So, okay. Overcards.
To a no filter.
Let's just say no maintain right here. Let's use this one then. Main. So I'll just, for the hell of it, select the overcards, which is this. And that's it, right? I know I could just check, choose the other one faster. But now let's say I just want the King of Hearts or the king of clubs and the queen of clubs.
Symbol to reflect their custom filter setting. I'll now press accept to accept these settings. And now, if we activate the filters, we'll see that Jack 10 and Jack 9 will pass through, but the lesser cut shots will not. Except for these ones, of course, but those passed because they were also flush draws.
That's cool software.
And when you apply a custom filter like this to a statistic, like we've just done with the gut shots, the small symbol next to the stat will show up, telling you that a custom filter is used here. If you ever want to remove a custom filter, just click on it, and it's gone. Now, it's possible for there to be an overlap between statistics. To see how a statistic overlaps with another one, just mouse over it. For example, I'll mouse over gut shots here, and we'll see that there are 6 gut shot combos, all of which are also flush draws.
Okay.
And if we pick a slightly different flop here, we'll see that on this flop there's 123 gut shots. 66 of which are also a gut shot and a pair, and 48 of which are also a gut shot and overcards. And if you want to see which hands are, for example, also a gut shot and a pair, right click the gut shot to fix the selection bar, and now mouse over the other statistic. And the overlap will be indicated with a black line around the hands where the overlap occurs. And should you now want to say that you want to apply a custom filter to this overlap, for example a delete, then press either A, B or C, depending on the filter you want to apply. I'll press B for delete. And all hands in the overlap will now get a custom delete filter.
Delete C. What's the difference between delete?
If you want to move beyond
no
the flop,
filter.
then you can enter a turn or river card in the board section.
What's
The turn card will be indicated with a T.
What's the difference between delete and no filter? Boom, 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 pressing B, but it's not. Fuck me, man. What is going on? Right click, B, C, A, C. Oop, C. What's the difference between B and C? Delete it out of the range and don't filter through. Why wouldn't you just deselect it? Oh, because you can delete certain hands. Alright, whatever.
In its upper right. And the river card will be indicated with an R in its upper right. When you have selected the turn card, you'll be able to define the filters for the turn in the statistics section.
I don't feel like that's needed because you can just see the right here. See our heart.
Turn filters, press the turn filter button.
I guess it makes it easier when you're deselecting it.
And if you want to go back to have a look at the flop filters again, press the left arrow key on your keyboard or press the arrow key here. And use the right arrow key to go back to the turn again.
So, let's see.
Finally, you may want to delete hands from a range. For example, because you want to define a checking range from which you wish to exclude very strong hands. For that, use the delete symbol, which you can get by clicking here or pressing space. And let's now delete everything that's top pair or better, flush draw, outside straight draw, or any combo draw. And I'll add a normal blue filter in front of all the weak stats. And in this manner we'll end up with a weak checking range. Now, I would like to say one more thing about the equity calculations. As discussed in the previous video, if you enter specifically 2 whole cards under the dead card section, it will be treated as a starting hand and their equity versus the range will be displayed in the box in the lower right. Now, if the filters are turned on, then the equity will be measured against the filtered range. So basically, no matter what happens, the equities in the lower right are always versus whatever range is displayed in the statistics section. Okay, that sums it up for the video on the filter system. The next couple of videos will be really short ones and they will deal with some of the bonus features in Flopzilla
Alright, I'm actually going to upload this before I check on the golf. I minimized it. I want to check on golf and my run it once post. Oops, and golf. Let's go with. Alright, I could actually end this video. What am I doing?